Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. This is Justin Allen Hayes. Thank you for joining us today. If this is your first episode, welcome. If you've been with us from the beginning, thank you so much and welcome back. If you're able to give us a big thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, all those things are free and they greatly help us to reach our goal of helping 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. And we just beyond ecstatic to be where we're at. Episode 330. Wow. Uh, just blows my mind. Blows everybody's mind here at Voices for Voices. We uh set out with goals, we've reached goals, we've surpassed goals, and it's all because of you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of Voices for Voices, the organization, Voices for Voices, the movement and wanting to help people. That's what we're here for, with the underpinning of mental health and mental illness, which I myself do uh, have and battle each and every day. Some days are good, some days are tougher than others. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's because of you that we're here, that we're able to do this. So I just have to say thank you again. What we're going to do on this episode, it's a little bit in the making, and that is with you may recognize the name Justin Bieber, and he came out a little while ago with the album Swag One. So I believe it was after close to 4 years of no music. No new music from Justin, as far as album wise. I believe he had some collaborations since then. But from like a full album perspective, that was huge. And he's breaking the mold by having that music, that swag one to be purchased on his personal website. Because as we know, there can be anybody that's dealt with selling anything electronically. There's, a transaction fee that usually comes with that. And if we're talking about books, let's say uh, a book sells for $10. Well, the author and authors don't get that $10. The the big publishing house gets their cut first, and then there's the printing press portion, which is in addition to the royalty that the big publishing house gets. And then the rest goes to the author. Same thing music wise is they have a similar setup of, there's so many middle people involved that by the time the money from an album's sale gets to the artist, uh, it's it, it's not as much as you may think. So Justin was breaking the mold and saying, "Hey, you want my new album? Come to my personal website and make that purchase. We got that for you." And so Swag One did that. It also, from a content perspective, touched a lot on human trafficking, supporting survivors with the big hashtag justice for survivors, wanting to, as he stated, as well as we do, be a voice for ourselves and for those that are either unable to speak, uh, or are unavailable to do that, or whatever road that goes down. And so Justin has and always will be a voice for uh, everyone, uh, being oppressed or been trafficked, wherever that falls on that spectrum. Swag One definitely did that from a business side as well as kind of uh, like a personal goal and outset of wanting to say, I'm with you. You're not alone. And that's a big thing. We've talked about that a lot here on our show, is you're not alone. There may feel like times where we feel that way, that nobody gets us, nobody understands. Feels like a lot of people, maybe everybody, it feels like everybody's against us. Um, and what Justin did in Swag One is saying, no, you're not alone. And that's huge coming from a person, an individual, right? A human being that has that, one of those bigger megaphones that's able to reach a lot of people, a lot more people. And so we again gave our full endorsement of Swag One that Justin Bieber dropped. So if you haven't picked up that album, head on over. You'll see the website and where you can purchase that in the description and potentially on the screen, depending on how post-production we're able to do that. And we ask that you support uh, not only Justin, but an artist who should be paid a higher royalty, a higher amount than going through, record labels and management, and there's all these fees that come out uh, because we are a voice. All of us are, whether we think we are or whether we don't. We are reaching far and wide, and thank you for joining us, being with us near and far. So Swag One, we fully endorse. And a short time after that, Swag 2 was released by Justin Bieber, and much the same way. And we want to also not only give that full endorsement for Swag 1 and Justin Bieber as an artist, as a person, as a human being, but we want to give our full endorsement for Swag 2, which is uh, the uh, uh, the second album that was dropped by Justin Bieber in that same manner as Swag One, where you purchase through his website so that uh, Justin is able to get more of the royalties from each album that's sold, and that allows him to help more people too, just like us. That the more donations, the more projects that we're able to do, that means we're able to help that many more people. And with Swag 2, after Swag 1 being heavy into that human trafficking survivors supporter uh, mindset and theme, I guess we could call it. We want to think of Swag 2 in the same sense from the business side, as far as it being dropped. You can catch it on the same website. And again, that website's either going to be on the screen and in description or caption, or it's going to be only in the caption. and description. And that's just going to depend, platform to platform of, again, post-production, how we're able to do that. But we're going to blast that so that you and everybody that follows you, connects with you, is able to find that album and to get that album ASAP, as soon as possible. Swag 2, if we look at an underlying theme, we would want to look at we want to look at God, uh, and how instrumental God is to Justin, to me, myself, and even if you don't worship God in the same manner, that there is a different religion, a different path for you and your family and colleagues and loved ones, that's okay. We're talking about that higher power that, again, what was the factor of making us born? Well, we all know the process, but the fact that we're still here, our heart's still ticking, at least at the current moment it is, for me. And uh, we want to just be, I use the word cognizant, not to try to be fancy, but to just realize that whether we believe it or not, there's got to be a higher power. Why am I alive and many people uh, aren't, that I've known over the years and that you've potentially known over the years? So the mere fact that we're alive right at this minute, this moment, this second, this day, this hour, this year is a big deal. And so for Justin to cover that, and that kind of underlying theme, and he's been one of the most vocal people, with, again, that big megaphone, a big microphone that he has to be able to share to the masses, the mass amount of people. Uh, and and I think it's a great thing to share that. Yes, there's going to be naysayers. There's always going to be haters. That's just the way it is. It takes some getting used to, just because consistently day after day, comments on, uh, certain media that we put out, uh, that just, I think I don't like it, and I don't think anybody likes getting, that real negative, demonic, feedback. But I do think it's worth it. I think it's worth helping people. And as, Voices for Voices, as I'm one of the primary voices in our organization, it's important for me to stop and take a moment or two or three or four and say thank you, God, for me being alive today, for me waking up this morning or afternoon, depending on, what shift, you work. Uh, we're here. It's an old cliche, oh, we're in this together. Well, as a human race, as humanity, as a human, we are in this together. Because one thing that we do know is we're not getting out of this life alive. So it doesn't matter how much money you have, doesn't matter what, cars or condos or houses or private jets or yachts or whatever. You can't take it with you. We know that. And so we've decided at Voices for Voices that we should recognize that and we should celebrate that we're alive. We have the ability to talk and listen to one another. And so for Justin to include that not only in uh, his concerts, his world tours that he's been on over the years, and especially here on Swag too, talking about the importance of God, the importance of having somebody that we can turn to in times of uh, not only times of grief, but other difficult times where we may feel alone, we may feel like nobody loves us, uh, that everybody's against us, that no matter what we do, that it's wrong, it doesn't work out, and we do the whole, the scrolling on social media and look at how perfect, or first off, nobody's perfect, but the perceived. Uh, how well somebody is doing based solely on, photos or videos or other media sources and mediums that are used. And those people are human too. And we see a lot of the best moments that those individuals are having, where it looks like, oh, wow, look, they look, I don't know, they look tan and they're in a exotic location on vacation, and look at that, the beautiful sky and the ocean and the sea and the beaches and the volcanoes and all these natural wonders of the earth. And then we look at our life, and as humans, we know we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to anybody, but we do. And so, by whether we know it or not, we do make comparisons every day, a lot. And for me, I've been trying not to do that as much because it doesn't get me or you any further ahead by doing that comparison. It may make us feel good in the moment, like, oh, I got the last word in. So yeah, that means I'm right. They're wrong. That person's beautiful. I'm not. I'm better than this other person. We don't need that in life. We don't need that. There's a song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. It's hard to think of in the depths of despair, in the days of those feelings of not being or not perceiving that we're worthy as other people. We are. We're all just as worthy. And so thank you to, Justin Bieber to bring that out in his art of being an artist with words and melodies and songs. We want to thank Justin for being so transparent as a human to talk about the hard topics like we try to do here at Voices for Voices. And we do. And Justin's doing too. We talk about the Swag One album not just the business side and where to buy that on Justin's personal website, which we 100% endorse, but to talk about our topic of human trafficking and being a survivor himself. That's deep. That's real deep. And then followed up with God, the belief in God, how God helps someone to turn to. We all have a spirit, so we don't have to see the person, see the individual. It's our brain, it's what's inside of our head and our hearts. So we just want to close out this episode. Say thank you to Justin Bieber for all that you do, you have, you are, and you will do. Thanks for talking about hard topics in your art and your works, your lyrics, your towns, your treasures. It's all about human trafficking, being a survivor, that people aren't alone. And then with this follow up with Swag too, we also fully endorse. And we don't do a lot of endorsements here at Voices for Voices, but we fully endorse and uh, recommend that you not only buy Swag 1, also Swag 2 on Justin's personal website, which will be on the screen that you'll be seeing and or in the description. And if you're listening to this, so you'll be able to find that in the description on the podcast on whatever audio platform, wherever you find your podcasts. And and lastly, you are a voice. Whether you think you are or you think you aren't, maybe you think, oh, I don't have, 100 million followers or 90 million followers. So, yeah, I can record something and I can film something and but nobody's going to watch it. It's not going to mean much to anyone. Let me just tell you this. I'm going to reiterate this from, past shows and probably going to end up repeating it because it's so true. We deal at Voices for Voices with a lot of things you don't see on the screen or you don't hear about. A lot of hate, a lot of envy, a lot of jealousy, a lot of people in comments say, "Oh, nobody's watching your show, nobody's listening to your podcast." And if I would listen purely to that, if we would listen as an organization purely to what others are saying in those kind of hurtful ways, then yeah, we could feel down and feel like, hey, what's worth it? Why this isn't worth it. Nobody's watching, nobody's listening. So why don't I just stop? Well, at age 43 for me, and at episode number 330, which is what this episode is, we don't care what you have to say, what you have to think. If you want to be negative, that's your choice. That's okay. Voices for Voices will live on. and we'll continue to help people, and we'll continue to highlight other people and individuals and organizations such as Justin Bieber, an individual who's transparent and is just talking about life in his music. Talk about the hard topics like we talk about the hard topics here on our show, which we get backlash for. But we are covered under the First Amendment of free speech. So just like you have your, as a U.S. citizen, that you have your First Amendment free speech, right? So do I. So is Voices for Voices. And so we'll just leave it at that and buy, purchase Swag One, Swag Two by Justin Bieber on his personal website. And we just again want to say thank you, Justin, for all that you have, are, and will be doing as a person, as an artist, as an actor, uh, and most importantly, as a human being. So thank you for joining us on this episode of the Voices for Voices podcast and TV show. Till next time, please be a voice for you or somebody in need. We'll see you next time, everybody. Bye bye.